Greetings viewers, my name is Flare Bliss and welcome to Rosetta and the Well. Be careful which well you look into after watching this video or during watching this video if you're exploring about and you somehow stumble upon a well while watching this video. There's a link down in the description below where you'll be able to download this game for yourselves. For some time now, there's been this strange little well just off the back garden of my house. I'm not sure where it came from or how long it's been there. All I know is that it simply showed up one morning after a particularly heavy storm the night before. A calling of the gods maybe? Maybe it was because I'm used to seeing strange events, or because nothing eventful seemed to come out of it. Or come of it, sorry. But I initially didn't pay it too much thought. You may never know when you don't give something too much thought, and then you'll need to give it so much thought that it's the only thing that consumes your mind. But one occasion, while I was out tending to my garden, I swore I could hear something coming from within it. It sounded like a voice? An indistant sort of whimpering, mixed with the sound of sloshing water. We shall, as always, wait and watch. I rooted myself in place for a few minutes, listening to the noise until I was sure it was not coming from anywhere besides the well. The longer I wait, the more insistent the sound seemed to become. Even so, I dared not move. I couldn't help but feel that something bad would happen if I were to give in. And yet, despite all reason and logic, a small part of me felt drawn towards the sound, as if an outstretched hand was beckoning me from the murky depths. But which part of me do I listen to in the end? We will turn and flee. We will not approach the well. I got up and ran from the sight of the well, back into the safety of my home. And inside the home spawns a well. I avoided the garden for the rest of the day. No matter how hard I tried to drown them out, the image of the well, the sounds coming from it, I could rid neither of them from my mind. Perhaps a sound effect would have been nice to indicate what kind of sound we are up against. Ultimately, I never did find out what was making that noise, nor did I have the heart to do so. I suppose that this choice would be the correct one in the long run. So then, why do I feel so scared right now? What's become of the well? Neutral and scaredy cat? Are you saying that I'm a scaredy cat for not interfering with the well itself and whatever that arm is coming out of a well for? You call me a scaredy cat? No, I'm smart. I am, after all, one for my own survival. Thank you very much. Fine. We will... Yes, we will watch and wait, but then I will approach the well the second time around. Somehow the well looked eerier viewing it up close. It made my discomfort rise to a considerable degree. Well, we're approaching this eerie well which we have no childhood memories of. It was probably from the early morning dark, but the water looked so murky and black, more like ink, if it was just a bit less vicious. Not to mention I couldn't make out anything in the darkness. The sounds became clearer now. I could definitely tell it was a voice, but the words were too muffled to discern. We will call out into the well. Hello? Are you alright down there? No response. Perhaps I wasn't loud enough that time. We will call out again. Hello? Can you hear me? Still nothing. Perhaps it was all just a trick of the wind. The well looked full of water, so there's no way an ordinary land dweller could lurk at the bottom without drowning. Well, that's the thing. There wouldn't be a, land dweller in here. Or perhaps a hybrid. We will... Actually, I shall be leaving now. Yeah, actually, no, I've already spent far too long pondering this. Even if there was something or someone down there, it'd probably be wise not to rush into things head on. I suppose the best option now is to turn back. I don't feel confident enough to handle this on my own. Sorry, confident. Is there something there? Oh, something's shaking. Oh, what was that? Something in there? Screen shaking? No, it couldn't be. Could it? What's inside it? Oh, there's a hand there. Oh. Something is there, isn't it? A hand of sorts. Well, there's definitely something there. Hello? Are you the well dweller? Yeah, I'm gonna call you the well dweller from now. What the hell? Hello? Would you mind putting some clothes on? Hello there, young lady. I take it you were the one calling for me from beyond this well. I suppose you could say that. What are you exactly? Ah, well, my manners. I am Galatea, or Galati, the mermaid of the well. It is a pleasure to be acquainted with you. A mermaid? I take it you're not all too familiar with merfolk. No, I'm actually quite familiar with merfolk. I've grown up around them, as a matter of fact. Yeah, with the sweat pouring from your forehead, I highly doubt that. I just didn't expect to encounter one in my backyard. Of all places. I understand. And your name is? My name is nothing. Actually, on second thought, you don't have to tell me. I shall simply call you Madam from now on. Is that okay? I guess so. Very well. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Before my eyes was just a mermaiden with snow-white hair and a complexion just as pale. I can certainly see where she gets her name from. Galati. But among all that, what stood out in particular were those eyes. Those piercing ebony eyes with a grey radiance. Something about them felt eerie, uncanny even, almost like the eyes of a porcelain doll. I've seen many mermaids growing up along the coast of Winterport, but never one so unsettling in appearance. Even so, I decided to continue speaking with her. It's too early for me to draw any definitive conclusions. Now then, madam, what business do you have with me? I heard a strange noise coming from this well, so I decided to investigate. Dear, you must have overheard me then. I apologize, it's been such a long time since I've had any form of contact with the world above. It can be lonely down in the deep waters, with nothing but my own thoughts to keep me company. It's an absolutely miserable experience, I'll admit. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. You needn't apologize, none of this is your fault, even though it really is because you didn't come here sooner to greet me. In fact, I've grown quite accustomed to the solitude. Even so, it's only been a matter of time before it would drive me mad. So I like having someone to talk to every now and again. As such, I wish to cherish your company before I have to leave again. How comes you need to leave again? Is it some kind of priority? Would you kindly spare me some of your time to that end? Oh, I suppose I have some time on my hands. Good, good. Let's take our time and get acquainted with one another, starting with you. I've been fascinated with the world above for as long as I can remember, and I've had more than enough time to think up plenty of questions to ask about it. But for brevity's sake, I'll just stick with 3. Is that right? Yeah, 3 is a good number. Go ahead. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, from the inquisitive mermaid from the well. Now, tell me a hobby of yours. What does one do to pass eternity? Unfortunately, my time is finite. A few things. Cooking, drawing, sewing. But one thing I've been particularly into is merfolk. I am more or less into... Well, we're out here gardening, so we'll do gardening. Hello. Gardening. Tending to my flowers and crops, plucking weeds, planting seeds, making nature grow. It all brings me a sense of calm and satisfaction, especially when it's as nice out as it is now. I haven't been able to do much garden work lately because of the rainy season, so I tend to cherish every moment I can spend in it. On the other hand, it's nice to watch rain fall outside my window and to hear it pitter-patter on the rooftop. That for me keeps me up at night when trying to sleep. Plus it's good for the plants, so that's another bright spot. Yeah, I find balance between sunshine and rain. Interesting. What kind of plants do you grow in this garden of yours? All manner of things. Roses, tulips, carrots, dahlias, tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, potatoes, broccoli, that long word, daisies. And those are just a few off the top of my head. Ah, so many colors, truly a marvel. I can tell you're very passionate about what you do. Certainly. In fact, I was actually doing some gardening before coming over here. Wow, such valuable insight. I must thank you, madam. Now, moving on from hobbies, I want to know more about where you live. You mean my hometown? Winterport? But of course. As mentioned before, this well is the only place I've known for a long time, so I want to know more about what's outside of it. Galatea is not talking about the fact that she may have the ability to exit out of a well, but maybe as a mermaiden, she needs to stay at least a part of herself in the well at all times. Winterport is... well, I'd say it's a very lovely town to live in, with lots of nice people and magical beings like yourself. Actually, my house is located just off its outskirts. It takes about 5 minutes to walk there from here. I see. So, about Winterport. What would you say is your favourite part of it? Honestly, if I had to pick one thing that most interests me, I'd have to say... I love cafes. Oi. Hey, greeted by our Cyclops maid. Cafe? Yes, the Ambrosie Tea House. Its cakes and teas are to die for, not to mention the atmosphere is very welcoming. At the very least for rating. Personally, I recommend the apple strudel and strawberry milk tea, though I'm also partial to those beef and cheese sandwiches. Oh, my mouth is watering already. And that's not even getting into the cafe's owner, Alma Timo... I don't know how to say that name. She's a very, very good friend of mine, and it's just as sweet as the sweets in her cafe. So there's also her fraternal brother, Ariel, who studies astrology and magic history. Though he's currently away traveling, so I'll have to introduce him another time, doing something magical. What a shame, I'd love meeting new faces. In conclusion, I think the tea house is a rather fine place to spend a nice afternoon away from home. Or with Christopher. Oh, is he a friend? Or their friend? My bad. Oh, looks like I dozed off. My apologies, Galatea. Setbacks aside, thank you for the recommendation, Rosetta. Hey, how'd you even know my name? I didn't even say my name. Well then, I believe this brings us to our last question. Would you like to marry me? This one might be a bit more personal if that's fine. No worries, Galatea, what do you wish to ask? It's about your loved ones. My loved ones? I apologize for not mentioning this earlier, but to put it simply, I don't exactly have what one would call a family. Not anymore, at least. I don't have any friends either. The ones I loved, they all abandoned me long ago, leaving me in this world to die alone. Oh, Galatea, that sounds terrible. How could anyone think to do something so cruel? I wonder the same thing every day. But you, Rosetta, you're not like them. For you to have taken time to speak with me, to answer my questions, despite how I may appear, as ghastly as I am, that shows you really care, and I'm thankful for that. I mean it. I truly am thankful. How Happy to have been so helpful to you, Galaxy. Now, about my question. If there was anyone in your life that you loved most, anyone at all, who would you say that was? I really don't want to answer this question. I don't know what this mermaid is capable of. Goodness, I have so many loved ones, so that might actually be a bit trickier for me to answer. But if I had to pick someone, that would be my cat. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with my old, precious three-eyed cat. My cat Camilla. Isn't he just aren't they just the sweetest thing ever? She's somewhat of a nag. Okay, there's confirmation, Ginger. She's somewhat of a nag, but also a true sweetheart and my greatest confidant. She's so cute and her fur is so soft and fluffy. I can't help but want to pet her whenever she sleeps next to me. I got her when she was a wee kitten, and I've cherished her with all my being ever since. She's practically like a sister to me. Aww. Camilla? Certainly sounds like a cute cat name. How old is she now? She just turned 7 last week, actually. So you've been together for some time then? We've been through thick and thin together. I can't imagine life without her, in fact. With Camilla by my side, I know I'm going to be alright, no matter what happens. And I'm sure that she feels the same way about her loving, caring owner. I don't see why not. And with that, I believe I have all the answers I need. Thank you again for choosing to speak with me, young lady. From what you've told me, I can tell that the world you live in is a truly wonderful and interesting one. I've got no legs of my own being a mermaid, but I'm grateful nonetheless to have gotten to hear your descriptions of it. That's great news, Galaxy. Oh, it's such a shame I can't seem to help you leave that well you're in. I'd love to show you around Winterport, introduce you to all the wonderful folk within it. Oh, I was so caught up in our little conversation I forgot to mention. There is in fact a way that I could potentially leave, and it just so happens you have the exit key. What? Exit key? I don't understand. What exactly do you mean by that? That's what I'm thinking. I don't want this kind of thing. Your legs. What about them? For me to leave this world would require that I have a pair of human legs. Legs such as yours. I've waited far too long for an opportunity at freedom, and with your arrival, said opportunity seems to have finally fallen into my hands. Sorry. Rosetta, sorry. Just run away as fast as possible, okay, madam? What I ask of you is this. Take my tail and give me your legs, so that I may escape this hell and experience the human world for myself. No! So in other words, you want me to switch places with you? The time between you and me, all the dialogue we've exchanged thus far, all the compassion you've showed me. You are so willing to share your knowledge with me, to let me experience your lovely town through your words. Surely the small favour wouldn't be too much of you to accept. I don't. Your legs, dear. Give them to me. Give me your legs. No. But surely there are better ways to help you, right? The Sea King, my grandfather, perhaps I can talk to him. I can convince him to give you legs. Like, I'm afraid that won't work, madam. This world's magic holds me captive, and there's a very specific set of conditions that can't be broken. Well, this well is surely not well enough in order to... I don't know where I was going with that, but for goodness sakes, this well is very bad. It's unfortunate to say, but there's no other way for me to leave. There isn't? No, there isn't. You have to be the one to make the decision. I'm not giving you my legs. Good Lord, what have I got myself into? Perhaps I was right in being suspicious of a well after all. The sounds Galaxy made within it, her asking all those questions, was it all just an elaborate setup to trap me? For what purpose? How do I know she's even telling the truth? She seems so kind for the time I've spoken with her, and if what she says is true, I can only imagine how much pain her isolation brought her. We should not dwell with these kind of merfolk laws. But would it really be worth it to give up my legs and my life, just for someone I have only known a day? I guess it can't be helped. I have to make a choice now. Either give my legs to Galaxy or leave her behind the well. I'll have to really think this one through. Once I made my decision, There may very well be no going back. You know very well that for our own survival, we are damn right going to not comply. I'm sorry, Galaxy, but the answer will have to be no. What? We were having so much fun together, and yet you refuse to do this one favor for me? I've given you at least 3 different favors by answering your questions, lady. Galaxy, listen. Of course I enjoyed our time together, and if we met under different circumstances, I'm sure we could have had an absolutely fantastic friendship. But as it stands, if your freedom comes at the cost of everything I've worked to achieve over the years, my friends, family, cat, books, garden, home, dearest, life, soul, my very being, then I'm sorry, but the cost is one I am unable to cover. And she is going to cry. How could you? How could you stand to be this heartless? Because you are manipulative creatures. To treat me... I'm not treating you like garbage. When I've been nothing but nice to you all this time. You don't mean that, surely. Galaxy, please understand, I'm not trying to hurt you. I would love to help you if I could, I really would. But as selfish as it may sound, I just cannot bring myself to make such a major sacrifice for someone I've hardly known. I hope you understand. Please forgive me. But of course, she's not going to forgive moi, as her expression looks very daunting. Is she just... Yeah, she's just going to disappear back into the world, isn't she? Or are we going to be sucked in? Oh. Nope. One's drowned back into the abyss. How unpleasant. And to think that my chance was finally within my grasp. Oh, Galaxy question mark. Ah, so maybe you're not even the nice one. I'd gotten this close to finally being rid of this rotten vessel. Only for the opportunity to be lost at the last moment. That girl. It's truly a shame she isn't as foolish as she appeared to be. Really now, of course. With a beautiful face like hers, she very well would have made a fine replacement for Galaxy. You're not Galaxy, then. You're some kind of imposter. An evil spirit of the well itself. Where did I go wrong? My methodology worked perfectly thus far. I thought it'd be no different here. And yet, I can't take it anymore. This hunger of mine has eaten away at the very last of my patience. I've come too far to abandon everything now. This sadly leaves me with only one option. If I can't have my way, then I'll just take it by force. Oh. Oh, I see. You're going to encapsulate the body itself of that mermaid. Wait, you're going to reappear? Yeah, you're going to reappear. You're going to reappear. No. Bugger. You should have stuck around the world, Rosetta. Camilla? Rosetta? Rosetta, can you hear me? I'm behind you. Yes, Camilla, I can hear you fine. But what are you still doing standing there? Hurry and make a run for it, Rosetta. Quick, into the house. Okay, I'm coming. At Camilla's prompting, I ran as fast as I could to my house's back door, with a black hand giving chase behind me. You're almost there. Keep going. I'm going as fast as I can. Once inside, I rushed to lock and barricade every door and window I could. Also made sure to close all the curtains for good measure. I could vaguely hear loud banging noises outside the houses, but hands desperately tried to find an entrance. I feel so afraid right now. Where did I go? What did I do wrong? What do I do to make it right? It's all no, it's not your fault. It's self-preservation, and you know it. I shouldn't have rejected Galaxy like that. What do you mean you shouldn't have? That's not Galaxy. That's another being. I should have told her, yes. I should have... Good work, Rosetta. I should hold him off for a while. You could have gotten seriously hurt if I hadn't called for you back there. We're out of the woods for now, but it won't be long until those demonic hands manage to find a way inside. Sob? Yeah. Rosetta? Rosetta, are you alright? Damn. Are we crying? I'm such a fool. How could I let this happen? How could I have been so stupid as to let this nightmare come to fruition? I I don't think I've ever forgave myself for this terrible mistake. Oh, Rosetta, don't say that about yourself, please. You're better than you think. If I'd been so naive, if I'd been a bit more cowardly, a bit meeker, no. Had it been the opposite, then I would have lived a happy, fulfilling life, and I wouldn't have to die like this. Wah. Are you trapped in the house? We always have our companion by our side. There, dear. Cry as much as you need to. You have every right to feel the sadness you do now. So I wonder if the choice we picked between the cat and the other two options would have determined which being would have come to our side. Just know that I'm here for you. Oh. Camilla? Yes. What is it? I'm a good person, right? Absolutely. Yes, Rosetta. You're a good person. You may not always make the best of decisions, but we all tend to do that sometimes. Even the great geniuses of this world aren't immune to this fact. What ultimately matters is how you handle your mistakes, and that you strive to better yourself as a result of those mistakes. So what you're saying is, there's still a chance to fix this? Perchance. As long as... Oh, uh-oh. There's the sounds of the noises again. They're trying to find a way in. We've wasted too much time here. If we're to get out of a situation alive, we need to act quickly. The kitchen's next room over. There's surely something in there that can help. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely, like a knife. No, this won't do. This is no good either. Camilla and I desperately searched the kitchen for something. Anything that could help us defend against the approaching threat. We searched high and low, from the cupboards to the drawers to the pantry. In our painstaking efforts, we eventually came across... Somehow I feel like the bag of salt would be a better choice than the knife. We'll do the bag of salt. Sea salt. Spirits are not good when it comes to salt. And what exactly do you plan on doing with that bag, Rosetta? I've read before in a paper that salt can be used to ward off evil spirits. Yes! So I figured that if I throw some of this salt at the hands, they'd scatter and dissipate. Interesting strategy. But are you certain you know what you're doing? Absolutely, I've done this in my spare time, as in my dreams, sorry. I'm not too confident either, but salt does me good in the garden and the kitchen. Surely it won't hurt. Surely it won't let me down, sorry about that. Alright, Rosetta. I believe in you. And there are the evil hands, and just like clockwork, a pair of arms broke through one of the kitchen windows. Another three burst in through the living room ceiling. Single-minded in their goal, the arms all rushed towards me like a pack of ravenous wolves. At that moment, I knew what I had to do. I grabbed a handful of salt and tossed it at a few of the arms. Just as I expected, the arms began recoiling as through in pain before they retreated. I tossed more salt at the main arms, and they all reacted the same way. Rosetta, it's working! The hands are scattering just as you said! Yes, see? I knew it would work. No time for celebration just yet, however. Quickly, to the garden! With the bag of salt under my arm, I rushed alongside Camilla towards the strange well in the back. Once I got close enough, a familiar figure emerged from the black water inside. Well, hi there, you have seen better days. It's almost like the evil spirit has imprisoned you. It's Galati. No, rather, it was a half-decayed piscine shell made to resemble a woman who presumed bore that name. Even at this distance, the stench of rotting flesh was incredibly potent, so much so that it nearly made my eyes water, just like her eyes are right now. I could hear a voice coming from a mermaid's mouth, but her lips were barely moving. Hello again, little lamb. Not only the appearance, but the voice was also much different from before. It sounded slower, breathier, and more like two voices speaking in almost perfect unison. One is subverse and one is domverse, if that makes any sense. One noticeably lower than the other. As the voice continued, the mermaid began making clumsy, erratic gestures like a poorly manipulated marionette. Now, lamb, I believe we might have had a rough start, don't you think? Come on now, don't give me that look. I would love nothing more than to right the wrongs between us, you see. Yeah, the wrongs that you created for us. Galatea, listen to me, this has to stop. Yep, this has to stop indeed. You've been completely unreasonable right now. It would seem I've made you upset. How foolish of me. But surely we could work something else, yes? Yeah, I'd like you to hold on to this bag of salt. If you would just try to understand me, then I'm sure a beautiful friendship could blossom between us. Please, just put the salt bag down and release me from the well. That's all I ask of you. Goodness, this abomination simply can't take a hit, can it? Let's finish it off, Rosetta. This must be your kitten. She looks absolutely adorable and fluffy. Keep your filthy rotten hands away from my Camilla. Exactly. Without thinking, I retaliated with another handful of salt to the mermaid's face, causing it to emit a terrible shriek in pain. That's what you get for even mentioning the name of my beloved cat. I stifled a grasp as I looked on in horror about what I'd done. Don't be. Oh dear. I'm so sorry, Galatea. I didn't mean to. You wretched fiend. I tried to be nice to you. Yeah, the word for this, tried. I play along with your little game, and this is the thanks I get in return? Is that how little consideration you have for your peers? You are not my peer, Galatea. Please, Galatea, I swear it was an accident. I wasn't thinking, it was an unconscious reflex. You. Enough of this flashious masquerade. I need to feed now. No. Several more hands emerged from within the mermaid, causing his hollow body to tear. A truly disgusting display. Thank goodness Camilla was nearby to help me stay grounded, so I'm not sure what would have happened to me otherwise. But even so, nothing could have prepared me for the sight that followed. Holy moly, the well itself is the abomination. I see now. How did I not notice it earlier? This is no ordinary stone well, but a malicious entity taking the form of one. I could see the malice in its crimson eyes as it directed its gaze at me. So, this entity's strategy was to lure unwitting prey under the guise of a mermaid trapped in a well, with the mermaid in question apparently being a sort of vessel made out of its previous victim. Speaking through the vessel, its hold conversations and act friendly with the prey to steadily lower their guard. With certain conditions, when certain conditions were met, the entity would pull the victim into its maw and consume them. After an unknown period, the entity would fashion the remains into a new vessel and begin the feeding cycle anew. Yep. If my theory is true, then I suppose it's up to me to end this cycle once and for all. My, you sure do love making things more difficult than they need to be, do you? Don't you, sorry? Are you truly that obstinate that you can't even bring yourself to follow the simplest of instructions? No, they're not instructions, they're threats. Don't you dare talk down to me, you miserable pile of horse crap. Do you truly believe that I'll let you get away with this? Oh, right, I haven't probably introduced myself. I suppose now would be a good time, with what my dearest Galatea being out of commission at the moment. You say at the moment. You may call me Pygmalion. I believe I'm what you Homo sapiens would call a demon. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. If you think I'm just going to continue to play along with your charade at this point, then you're sorely mistaken. This Rosetta is very brave against such demon. Oh, it's got a different expression altogether, I think. Or is it just my eyes? Oh, goodness, you're a feisty little lamb, aren't you? You know, I could simply grab you and drag you down. I got it right this second. However, you are very welcoming to conversation. Bring about your demise right now, here and now, before you'd even have the time to feel any form of regret or fear. The opportunity is most definitely available to me, and on any other day I'll be more than happy to take it. But you know what? I've grown quite fond of you, child. Your pretty face and an oh-so-lovely voice. Yes, my voice is lovely. From the time we spent together, it has become an earnest wish of mine to make you my companion, and to satisfy your every worldly desire. After all, aren't friends supposed to help each other? To want each other's happiness? Don't give in. This is exactly the same as Galatea, but a bit more, I don't know what you call, a bit more welcoming. Shut up. As such, I decided to extend a compassionate hand and not take your opposition towards me for the insult that it is. This is your last chance to reconsider your behavior. Either you forfeit your life willingly, or I tear it out of your hands. What will you do, lamb? What will you do? Rosetta? Rosetta, say something. Do something. Anything, please. Listen to your feline, lamb. There's only so long I'm willing to wait for your answer. I'm incredibly famished, you see, and it's already well past my dinner time. Whatever you're thinking of right now, it better be worth my waiting. Oh, don't you worry, you won't have to wait for long. In fact, you don't have much time to wait anyways. Beings like you are vile and wretched, toying with people's emotions, luring them in with a false kindness, pretending to be their friend until you're able to use them for your own selfish purposes. As you may know, Winterport is filled to the brim with people who love me. People who truly care for me and support my passions without any hidden motives, unlike you. And I'm not about to turn my back on those people just so you can satisfy your twisted hunger. You dare to speak to me with such insolence? Even despite my warnings, my generosity, yeah, generosity is a word. There are many types of fair folk in this world, some of them kind and others cruel. But your brand of awful greatly exceeds that of the latter category. For you to commit such atrocious acts against innocent humans without so much as a sliver of remorse, monstrosities like you deserve to be burned until not even ashes remain. Whoa. There's only so much salt within that bag. Oh, what's wrong, you wretched fiend? Did you say you were hungry? But not hungry for salt? This should be more than enough to satisfy you then. Go on, guzzle it down to your filthy heart's content. It burns much. The demon lets out constant gurgles of agony as I poured the remaining bits of salt into its maw. As I did so, it began to slowly melt into black sludge. Meanwhile, Camilla scratched at the demon's eyes, causing it further pain. There, this ought to teach us some manners, young man. Young man, the distressed noises that well emitted were sickening, yet I continued to pour the salt from the bag. More salt. Did I miss out any more ands? I don't think so. Finally, after some time, the salt ran out, and all that was left of the demon was a pile of black sludge. It was a revolting, yet revealing sight to behold. It's over. It's finally over. You did it, Rosetta. I suppose I did, didn't I? Seems like it was good to buy that third salt bag after. What do you mean buy? You just found it in the oh wait, it was your house. Tis so. Wait. Hold on, I spot something in that sludge pile. Something white. Allow me to dig it up. Oh? Camilla, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Why do you say that, Rosetta? Pygmalion's been neutralized, no? What harm could he possibly do to us as a pile of black goo? I wouldn't chance it. Well, you see, the thing... Yeah, it's a skeleton. It's bones. Oh, dear. What? Bones? But if those came from a pile of sludge, then that could only mean... The two of us remained silent for a few moments, as the cold realization of what exactly we witnessed had settled in. That poor lady. What has that damned well done? After around 2 minutes, I just want to break the silence. I believe I have a phone call to make. Alright then, you go ahead with that. I'll be following you shortly. You still gonna dig around in that pile? Thank you for calling the Winterport Investigation Department. What seems to be the issue? Hello, this is Rosetta Holloway. I'm calling to report an incident that occurred at my place of residence. Alrighty, Miss Holloway, I hear you loud and clear. Now, could you perhaps elaborate on said incident in as much detail as possible? I'll try my best. Apologies if my speech is a bit disorganized. I'm still rather shaken up by it all. It's fine. I understand. Take your time. Thank you, sir. Now, where do I start? I then went ahead to explain to the operator everything that occurred that day. I told him of the encounter of Galatea, of the demonic well, of the black hands, of the bones we found in the sludge. I really adore how reassuring that young man sounded. I could feel the tension in me melt away as I spoke with him. He then sent an investigation team to my house to clean up the aftermath. A few more lengthy interrogations later, the bones were identified and given a proper burial. My house needed extensive repairs due to all the damage the entity had caused, but my parents were kind enough to let me and Camilla stay with them until everything had been fixed. To be honest, it was rather nostalgic sleeping in my old room after so long. Sure, we converted into a guest bedroom after I moved out, but it still managed to make me feel like I was a pretty girl again. Some days into my stay, Christopher had come over, carrying a very special question in his heart. A question that would change my life forever. Do you love me? Hello. Looks like champagne is in order. Some months later, and here we are in the present, newlywed to my beloved moth. So, I suppose this marks the end of that heart-pounding tale. Calling that journey eventful would be a grave understatement in my opinion. Ah, thank the stars you and Camilla made it out alright. I wouldn't know what I'd do without either of you around. It's no trouble at all, really. We managed to come out unscathed at least. On another note, thank you again for agreeing to do catering for the event. Of course, anything to help a friend. I didn't let my brother down when I helped out at his wedding, so of course I wouldn't let you down either. Plus, weddings are good for business. Absolutely. So many guests with hungry tummies to feed. I suppose. Aw, are you still upset over that whole thing with Galatea? Somewhat, yes. Knowing that for all the time I'd been speaking with a puppet made to lure me to my demise, it sort of left a bitter taste in my mouth. I still wish I could have saved that lady, spared her from the fate she'd been dealt. Rosetta, dear, we talked about this before. The cats are here, lovely. It's an unfortunate reality, but the fact remains that there are some people who are simply beyond saving. That is somewhat agreeable. That white-haired girl was one such person by the looks of it. But there ain't no need to beat yourself up over it. Exactly, because we are here in the present. Her fate had nothing to do with ye, sweetheart. Arguably, by stopping that dastardly Pygmalion in his tracks, you saved countless lives from suffering the same fate. Not a bad bargain, methinks. Ah, father, you and mother have always given such comforting advice. Hey, can I say something too? Yes. I don't see why you can't. It's your wedding after all. Exactly. Oh, so that's what you mean by moth. He has wings. Thank you. Ahem. Rosetta, it may not seem like it at all times, but you do much more good for us than you think. For example, ever since we met back when I was a wee larva, I'd been able to become more open about my thoughts and feelings. I was too focused on being a good heir to be Doptera throne when I was younger, and I never let myself be true because of it. But thanks to you, I don't have to bottle myself up anymore. I can let myself be soft because of you. I'm not the best with words, and I sometimes say things without thinking about it. But I'm very good to have met you, and I'm glad that I get to have you as my wife. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so happy right now. You all make me so happy. I love you all dearly. We love you too, Rosetta. The cat is somewhat frowning. You've been such a bright spot in all our lives, and we're glad to be one in yours. Hello? Ariel? What seems to be going on here? Why, hello to you too, fraternal one. We were just having a nice conversation with our blushing bride here. Sounds absolutely lovely. I must once again congratulate Miss Rosetta and Prince Christopher on their engagement. Ah, thank you, Ariel. I'm very pleased, Miss Taramasi. You're very welcome. Ah, young love is such a beautiful thing, is it not? Takes me back to when I first met my own blushing bride, Dolores. Oh ho ho. Lolita Carimali. How I love you so much. Ariel, is there something you particularly wish to say? With that love heart eyeball. Oh yes. I just came over to let everyone know, but the cameraman's finished preparations for wedding photos. Oh, bravo. Perfect timing. We'll be waiting for you all in the West Wing once you're ready. Aye. Follow along, everyone. We're coming. We're all going along. Yes, we're going as well, aren't we? And there comes the bride. You should make just a lovely portrait. In the end, I'm glad a happy ending had come of all the turmoil. This isn't the first struggle I've experienced, and I feel it won't be the last. But at least I've got such good company to help me bear it all. And for that, I'm truly eternally grateful. Oh, and one more thing. Oh, are you going to the graveyard? Galatea, it's really unfortunate the things you had to endure. I hope you're in peace now, and that you're no longer in any pain or agony. Damn. Perhaps one day, if the opportunity comes, we might get a chance to genuinely know each other. No facades, no manipulation, no wolves in sheep's clothing, sorry. Perhaps then a genuine friendship could blossom between the two of us. Until that day comes, may you rest in peace. Wherever you are now, I hope that it's as bright and sunny there as it is here. Farewell, Galatea, from the bottom of my heart. Here lies Galatea Andalit. Oh, I managed to find the true end of the game quite early on. So I imagine there's more than two endings. So we've got the neutral ending and the true ending, but I imagine there are one or two bad ends. All's well that ends well, as they say. I like that actually. The title screen's changed. I genuinely believe the kitchen knife was a bad option. Like, you can't cut a spirit. I quickly reached for the largest knife in my knife drawer. The blade glistened softly as I examined it in the light. It's not a lot, and I doubt it'll be of much help against an army of rapidly extending arms, but I suppose it's worth a try. And here they are, just like clockwork. A pair of arms broke through one of the kitchen windows. Another three burst in through the living room ceiling. Single-minded their goal, the arms all rushed towards me like a pack of ravenous wolves. At that moment, I knew what I had to do. With a kitchen knife in hand, I went on the attack. Oh, hello. I wildly swung and stabbed my knife into the nearest arms, while Camilla attacked some of the others with her teeth and claws. 1, 2... And Rosetta seems to look a little darker in her expression. 1, 2... And through the kitchen blade went Snicker Snacker, sorry, as the large black arms swarmed us from all directions. Looks like we're slowing down finally. That's good to hear. Yep, our blade is not covered in blood, but sludge. Now we just need to... Yep. What the... No! 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 You can't be serious. However, those bloody arms don't exhaust themselves. Well, it's probably because, well... a knife is not as good as salt against these kind of things. Even so, we did our best to fight tooth and nail until an opportunity opened up for us to escape. But opportunity never came. The arms kept coming at such a rate that it became nigh impossible to fend them off. Before we had any proper time to react, we were completely overpowered. Yep, completely swallowed up. I struggled to break free from the hand's grasp as my vision began to blur. You should have taken the salt. The arms had become so numerous by then that they almost seemed to merge with one another. I was beginning to see much more dark than light too. Zeta, when are you? Camilla! Camilla, is that you? Rose, don't worry, I'll find you. I'm right here, Camilla. Please help me. Don't let them take me. I beg you. So sorry, Rosetta. Couldn't... something you. Camilla, no! No! You didn't fail me! Oh, I see, right. Please stay with me. I don't want to die. I don't want to be alone. Come to me, Camilla. Please! Please! That was the last thing I remembered shouting before everything went black. And... oh, we went into the water then. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in the depths of a black ocean. This is what Galatea sees. There was no way to tell up from down, nor the amount of time I'd spent in this place. I looked around, but I didn't see anyone or anything else near me. No possible exits. No sign of Camilla. I couldn't even find a damn knife. A part of me wanted to scream for help, but my body felt incredibly heavy and tired. I couldn't even bring myself to wiggle my digits. I felt several of those hands grabbing hold of my arms and legs, but I remained motionless still. I no longer had the strength to fight back, and my senses were fading fast. It was only a matter of time before I succumbed to unconsciousness. I'm so tired. So very tired. Tired of running, tired of fighting, tired of fearing for my life. Perhaps if I closed my eyes and let myself drift off a little bit, then everything would eventually turn out fine. After what I'd been through, I wanted nothing more than to sleep. Yes, sleeping would be the easiest thing for me to do right now. If nothing else, I can at least find solace in knowing that this nightmare will eventually end. Soon. Very soon. It'll all be over. I won't have to worry about anything anymore. The end. It's right within my grasp. I can see it now. Here it comes. Whoa. Bad end. La Rosa Bleue. So we became the next mermaid of this cycle. And we will lure in some poor unfortunate soul here. What about if we give up our legs? When I was young, my parents told me to help others whenever possible. I'd read various stories about heroes saving others whenever they were in danger, of brave knights slaying demons and protecting their loved ones from evil. To be honest, I've always wanted to be a good person, to be a heroine that people could rely on and look up to. I didn't like seeing others in pain, and I'd feel like a bad person leaving them to suffer. This isn't even worth being called a sacrifice, I don't think. It's quite laughable, really. I may very well be heading towards my death right now, and yet I still accepted her offer because I felt like I was doing a good deed. Am I doing this because she was being genuine in her words, or am I just that blinded by my sense of altruism? Regardless of the truth, I've already made up my mind. Decision. Even if I were to die from this, if my death results in the improvement of many lives, then at least it won't be in vain. I'm so glad we could come to an agreement, little lamb. Now allow me to take those off your hands. Ouch. It was then that I was seized by several black hands emerging from the well. Their touches felt cold and wet, and their grasps felt almost firm as they gradually brought me into the water. This honestly should have been terrifying, and yet I was unafraid. Calm even. Damn. We really do become the next mermaid. As I was being dragged into the watery abyss, I thought about my past. I thought about my garden, my book collection, my cafe dates with Christopher. As I slowly lost consciousness, I thought about my parents, Camilla, the tiramisu siblings, and everyone and everything that I had come to care for by that point. I thought about Galatea and the conversation I had with her. Actually, I don't think I've seen Galatea at all since I agreed to give my legs to her. Perhaps she's already left and I just didn't notice. At least, that's what I chose to believe. Yeah, that's what you chose to believe. I hope that none of my loved ones are around to watch me right now. I don't want them to feel hurt by my disappearance. But they will feel hurt because you're not there. Another day. Where are we now? In this bottomless ocean. Some kind of body is that? Oh, our legs all twisted and tangled several days later. Oh, looks like there's someone at the door. Hopefully they've brought some good news along with them. Give me a moment, please. I'll be right with you. Who would that be? Ah, Prince Hedrosera. A sight for sore eyes as always. Good afternoon, Mrs. Halloway. I hope you don't mind me coming over here so suddenly. Oh, not at all, sweetheart. Come, make yourself at home. Thank you, madam. They're discussing about the disappearance of Rosetta. Agrini, we have company. Aye, Christopher. Good to see you, young lad. It's good to see you also, Mr. Halloway. So what brings you to our humble abode? I wanted to ask about your daughter. Rosetta, I mean. What about her? I wanted to know if either of you knew where she went lately. I've had a particular question on my mind recently, so I went to the house to let her know how I was feeling. But she wasn't anywhere to be found, and nobody I asked knew where she was either, not even her pet cat. I figured that you two would have some ideas, so that's why I'm here now. Oh dear, sweet Christopher. I'm so sorry. What? Mrs. Holloway, what does that mean? Lad, let me break the news to you in the nicest way possible I can think of. She died. You see, Rosetta's been declared missing for several days now. We ain't seen or heard anything of her since the 12th. Nobody has. We've done everything in our power to locate her. We spoke with my mother, father, siblings, Egrini's mother, Camilla, the Winterport Investigation Department, just about every local we could think of. I recall even the Tiramisu household got involved at one point, but alas, our search party has turned up nothing. Since you came here to ask for a whereabouts, I take it the information has yet to reach the fair folk over in Doptera. I don't think so. I see. Ah well. If either of you need me, I'll be in the back garden trying to cool my head. I believe the stress is finally starting to get to me. Oh, don't tell me the well's gonna rise up again. Take all the time you need, Barbie. This whole thing's been hard on all of us. So, yes, Mr. Holloway? You said something earlier about wanting to ask Rosetta a question, correct? Yes, I did say that. Alrighty then. Well, I don't mean to be nosy and all, but would you be okay with telling me exactly what's been bothering you? I suppose I can do that. Go on then. Well, no worries if you can't find the words right away. I know that part tends to trouble ye. I want to ask Rosetta for her hand in marriage. Ah, what's that? You want to marry the girl? Yes, sir. I mean, we certainly like each other, and we've been a couple for about 5 or 6 years, and we've known each other for about 20-ish years at this point. She's nice and caring and sweet and she's got a cute face, and I love her cooking. I like the way she laughs, and she always wears the prettiest outfits. Whoa, slow down there, boy. I think I get what you're trying to say. Sorry, Anyway, I really want to spend the rest of my life with her, and I was wondering if she'd be okay with being my wife. Well, you certainly have my support. You're a brave fellow who's willing to give his all to make his sweetheart happy, and I like that. Reminds me of me younger self, actually. Should we find her alive, I'm sure you'll make the finest husband Rosetta could ever have. I appreciate your blessing. Thank you, Mr. Holloway. Don't mention it. A greenie? Do you remember there being a water well in the back garden? Oh, no. Nope. A water... I don't remember having no well instilled back there. What is... Honey, I think you should come here and see this. What is it, Barbie? What's going on? Mr. Holloway, what's happening? Is everything okay, Mrs. Holloway? The well showed up in the garden. A mermaid? I don't get it. What's one doing in a world of all places? No, Granny, it's not just that. This mermaid. The mermaid in the well. It looks just like Rosetta, yes. Dear God, you're right. The face, the hair, the heart-shaped birthmark on her lower back. And yet I can't see a single speck of light in her eyes. Mother, Father, why are you crying? No, it can't be. I refuse to believe it. Greenie, please. Please tell me it isn't so. I don't know what else to tell you, Barbie. Mrs. Holloway, are you okay? You sound incredibly upset. Christopher, don't come over here. I beg you, please don't, for your own sake. Barbie, I get you don't want the lad to be hurt and all, but I don't think keeping this from him is gonna do any good. What? Keep what from me? What do you mean? Christopher, is that you I see? No way. Oh, Christopher, my sweet little angel. I'm so glad you're here. Tell me, my love, do you have any idea how long I've been waiting for this very moment? Rosetta. Oh no. Yep. Bad end, legs to one, mind to none. Yep, Rosetta became one with the well. Shouting up the well again, third time's a charm. Excuse me. Again, total silence. Come to think of it, why am I even doing this at all? Do I even want to know what's down there? What if there was something truly dangerous lurking at the bottom of this well, and I was simply stirring up a hornet's nest by calling out into it? Yeah, exactly. The longer I dwelled on those questions, the more uneasy I become. I don't think I could bear anymore. I suppose the best option is to turn back. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if selecting different hobbies will alter the outcome. But the hobbies that you make don't actually affect the outcome, because I've went through 3 different choices, like reading, then selecting the docs, and then selecting parents being the most important in our lives out of Christopher, parents, and the cat. Approach the well. This could be the final outcome. Somehow the well... Wait a minute, I think I've already called out into the well, yes. Call out again. Yeah, I've already done this actually, because the fact that we need to approach the well in the first place. Because if we load it back in from here and just watch and wait, then well, it's actually just slightly different. Because turn and flee is the neutral outcome. So I think that's all of the endings in this game. So we've got 2 different bad endings, 1 neutral ending, and 1 true ending. And it even says in the features 4 possible endings actually. 2 bad, because one of the bads is a more like in the depths showcase of being transformed into a mermaid. And then the other bad ending was less of the inside the well aspects, even though it did show us being drowned. But it also became of the fact that, well, the family and Christopher discovered our newfound form in that bad ending. So it was the same outcome for Rosetta in the bad endings, but it's just 2 different variations. One in which we try to fight off using the knife, but it didn't work. The neutral ending is the one in which you can encounter in the earlier stage of the game, where it's like, nah, I don't want any part of it. Just turn away from the well and just carry on with our lives. And then the true end is to use the bag of salt to defend yourself with. Like, I knew that would be the better outcome when it comes to either the salt or the knife, because knives, you can only do so much with a knife against an evil spirit, but salt, you can do much, much more, depending on how much salt you have. And, well, the well was hungry for something, but he just didn't get the substance that it wanted. So that is all in good faith. So there's no gallery here, which would be nice to actually have, but I really like this game actually. I knew the instance that the mermaid showed up, I knew it was a force to be reckoned with. Like with any kind of mermaid within any kind of merfolk or any fantasy related scenario or any scenario whatsoever, that the mermaid always guides their prey into lowering their security, and then once they completely oblige by the mermaid's wishes, then it will completely consume them. And in this case, Galatea is a victim herself as well. She was the previous victim to succumb to the well, and whatever was the previous vessel then just dissipated into nothingness. And then Galatea was the next mermaid, and then from there the cycle continues. So in both of the bad endings, the cycle continues with Rosetta being the new mermaid and Galatea being complete nothingness from there. But in the neutral ending, that shadowy figure was quite frightening, although it did have a rose in her eye, so, or in its eye, so I don't know the previous state of that. Maybe that was even before Galatea, but I'm not too sure. It definitely had a different shape to the body itself in the neutral ending. And then in the true ending, we definitely dealt with the demon or the spirit in itself by feeding it with all of that salt. But I also love the change to the main menu when you encounter the true ending in and of itself. And it looks like a moth being drawn to the rose. And Rosetta being the rose itself, the moth would obviously be drawn to it, marry it, and whatnot. So the fact that this world didn't previously exist is one thing, but then strange noises started coming from within it, which prompts Rosetta to investigate, is definitely something that could alter one's life. And whenever you see a well suddenly spawn up in front of you, whether you live near it or you're visiting somewhere and it suddenly spawns up, or just anything like that, if you see a well just suddenly turn up, I'll recommend just going through the neutral path and be as safe as possible. And do not chat with whatever spirit resides within the well itself, even if it is asking for help. Because in all likelihood, if you go to an area which is very rough and the well that you're looking at just looks a little bit too well looked after, then you can tell it's been very recently. Not a thing that's survived history, and that's just the remains of what it is. So Rosetta and the Well is a tale that has gotten my stamp of approval. Thank you so much to Madame Photon for creating the game, and we shall see each other in the next tale. If you want to find out the other kind of portraits that have happened throughout this game, so let's say looking at the docs, choosing parents or choosing Christopher, or anything like that, then I recommend checking out this game for yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, people.